You're listening to Lazy Gal podcast hosted by Sejal Ganate. So today, we're kind of just gonna go over, it's evident that you don't like being by yourself or kind of just spending time with yourself. And I think it's really important that everyone learn how to be with themselves and how to really like themselves and how to just be fine with being alone. Because really, at the end of the day, alone does not mean being lonely. Like, those are two different things. And I can spend like a whole day, I can probably spend a week alone or something, even more. Probably in the future, I'll probably have to spend more time alone. And I would be fine. Like, of course, I would like to hang out with my friends and family, but it's it's okay that I like spending time with myself. And I really do enjoy spending time with myself. And I find ways to make sure that happens because I tend to get very annoyed if I have to be around a lot of people at the same time. And of course, that's more of my social battery and energy. And everyone has different social batteries and energies. But you should always, no matter what your social battery is, you should always be okay with spending time with yourself. So, just to start off this episode, we're going to be doing something different this time. We'll be doing segments, and I hope to kind of follow this in every single one of my episodes. I do segments in my email newsletter, which I'll go over a little bit in a little bit. But the first segment is kind of like what I've been doing recently, and I made this little giant little to-do list for the weekend, like journal, do my December calendar, kind of change my Mac home screen, work on my Swift stuff, and kind of stuff like that, and just plan more content, go on a walk, whatever. And I hopefully I get to do that after this podcast, after I film it, because it still looks at me. But it's okay because I was really busy yesterday. I went grocery shopping stuff. I got new clothes and other things. Like, I got some Micellar cleansing water because I really wanted to be able to remove my makeup without really scrubbing it off my face and literally my skin coming off at this point. I got this cute little straw at Winco, and I ordered a new journal for next year. I haven't opened it. I want to do an unboxing, and I'm gonna leave it for 2024 because the journal I have now, I still have I think 20 pages left, and I don't journal every day. I try to. I'm trying to do some more, but I hope to finish all those 20 pages before 2024. And I start off the new year with that, and I think this works out really well because I've had that journal for the past 3 years. So it's been through a bit, and I kind of want to start a new one and just journal a lot more. One of my goals this year, and I'm gonna start in December, is just journal a lot more and kind of journal more consistently and journal about different other things because I always just use a journal about my life, and I want to follow some prompts, and I know people do shadow work and stuff, so I want to try all of that. Okay, so yes, I talk about my journal and my plan, and then I also you know how it's fall and winter, so I painted my nails this cherry red color. This is a really old nail polish. It's from Essie, but this takes 2 or 3 coats, and I really like it. And other than that, I did release an email newsletter. I missed November. Like I said, I was taking a break for college apps, which I submitted, thank God. But yeah, so on my email newsletter, I try to release one every month, and it's kind of like the official Lazy Cal newsletter. I'll have a link down below to sign up. I have some freebies, so I'll link a freebie link to every single one. And if you'd like more than one freebie, let me know. I will email it to you. I'm trying to on somewhere on my blog, my Lazy Gal to-do list is have a content library, but I am working on other things, so we'll get there. So some segments I have on that, things I'm looking forward to. If you're not on email newsletter for December, I said the cold season. I live in California, where 7 out of 12 months of the year it's summer. Everything else is kind of spring, kind of cold. And I'm looking forward to also posting some more on social media because I have more time. And I also link some content from me, new podcast episodes and new blog posts. And I also link content I've been enjoying, videos I've been watching on YouTube that really help me with mental health and kind of self-growth. And or some exercise videos, I linked one on Pilates. I have wise words of the month, just kind of motivation quotes that I make, and for example, you owe it to yourself to be better and not let others affect your well-being. Pull through. And I have media recommendations, songs or books or shows, whatever I have been consuming lately that I really like, and new upcoming events. And I actually have a really interesting upcoming event. I have a new workbook. It's $2.99, and it's a workbook for content creators and a roadmap to social media success. I will also link that down below. So, check it out. Let me know what you think of these segments. If you'd like to hear any of these on the bi-weekly podcast. Maybe I will incorporate those. We'll see. So, as for now, I think, yeah, okay. So the last segment I will be doing for the podcast is going over my social media. And like I literally just posted a story on this brownie I made. I made like those mug brownies. I wanted something sweet, and so I looked on TikTok, and of course, like, you know what I'm saying, like everyone has video for everything. And I found a mug brownie. So if you're watching the video podcast, I'm showing you it. And I forget that sometimes I say stuff and people don't realize it's a video podcast on Spotify only, not Apple. And I also release it on YouTube. So my YouTube is the_lazygal, which I will also link down below. And in all of those, like the last two have been video podcasts, so you can actually see me talk. And I think I think it depends, because my friends were saying that they do enjoy watching videos more because it's something to look at and kind of just in the background versus just audio. So like everything else will be video podcast, and if you have Apple, I'm on YouTube as well. So like recently, like sometimes I just follow post quotes, but like content wise, what I've been posting on my blog is I posted this December reel where I just post a bunch of pictures that kind of remind me of December, and kind of like it's, I would not say like a vision board, but it's things that literally are like cozy, put me in a December mood. And then I posted a November recap video using the Taylor Swift song "Call It What You Want." It was like, I recall last November, late November. And then of course, like I have the post for my last episode on why do you care so damn much. And so every podcast episode, I release a new post on Instagram about this episode. And recently, I've been putting more quotes, less information, more quotes, just because I hope it gets more people excited instead of just having all the information in the post, so people think that's it instead of like realizing it's an actual podcast episode. So yeah, and then I was gonna post another reel today, so hopefully I get around to it. I really want to, but you know how life is. So that's really all there is for me for social media wise. I post the same things on my TikTok, the_lazygal too. So if you have TikTok, follow me on there as well. My YouTube Shorts, I still have to think about it because like there's so much platform. Like I was linking my platforms into ConvertKit because I was like, oh, if you are new here, these are all my platforms. I have like at least 12. And of course, like I don't post on Medium all the time anymore. Like if I maybe once every couple of months, I'm like, oh, probably should like backlog all my posts there. So I do, I send them over there. And it's like there's so much content and platforms that I'm on that it's kind of hard. Like LinkedIn, for example, like I barely post on there anymore. Let's get on to the episode because I really have nothing else to talk about. Some reasons why it's evident you don't like yourself. And I didn't put a number on this just because I did write down 8, but just in case on the flow I find something else, we're gonna listen to it. Okay. So number 1, like I personally have always been someone who can really be alone. Like I don't really remember times where I've really done any of these. I'm sure like there have been some moments, but for the most part, it's just realizing that I've always been the only one who's stuck around for so long. And there really is something freeing about that, to be honest, just knowing that like people will come and go through your lives. But the one and only person you really have to worry about is yourself because there's nowhere you can go. So, number 1, and I made this episode just before, I made this episode because a lot of people just talk about how to be by yourself or how to be more comfortable, but people don't really understand if they are the ones who should be working on it more compared to something else. Because of course there are a lot of things that we as human beings need to improve on and work on. But if you focus on everything, you're never gonna get anything done. So might as well focus on like your priority, like read, like for example, I was watching this one video, and let me get the YouTuber because I linked her in my newsletter. It's called First Step in Shifting Your Identity, Power of Authenticity by Baja Abdi, and she's on YouTube too. And she talks about how the one thing she really focused on the last couple months was eating healthier and being healthy. And this really helped her glow more, become more productive in life and society because she focused mainly on this goal. Like, yes, she had other goals she wanted to pursue academically, spiritually, all of those goals she wanted to do, but she focused on eating healthier and being healthier because she wanted that goal to be achieved first. And and if you think like I need to be more comfortable with myself before I start doing anything else, because it's true, like you cannot work on your other goals if you don't know why you're working on it. And of course, you don't know why you're not working on it because you don't know yourself. So the first step is really knowing yourself and being able to be by yourself to work on those goals, because you cannot always be around other people when achieving your goals. Sometimes most of the time you really have to be alone and go through things alone to reach what you want to reach. So of course, if you are someone who can be by themselves and know that, like, this episode is not really for you, of course, feel free to listen. My bad. But it's really people who need to understand that, damn, I cannot be by myself. Like, that is something that I need to work on, something I need to accept. But it's hard to accept if you don't know what the signs are, you don't know what they are. So that's really what this episode is about, is just reasons why, signs that you cannot be by yourself. And like, I have met people throughout my life. Like, they're not bad people, of course. I can tolerate them. I can be around these people, but it's evident after a while of knowing them that this person cannot be by themselves, and sometimes it's draining because you want to be by yourself and they do not possess the same ability. So number one that I've noticed is that these people always want to go out. Like, you always want to spend weekends out. Like, every time you're posting something new, you're always at a party, you're always at a friend's house. You're never truly by yourself physically. Like, physically, you're never by yourself. And of course, there's nothing wrong with going out and being extroverted and having friends. But after a while, you realize that your mood changes so much when you are not with other people. And that's the problem. Like, it affects you negatively when you're not around other people. Like, especially like your friends. Like, I see people who are always posting on social media. They're always out every single day. They're at a concert, at a party. They're out somewhere, and that's true. Like, of course, I'm more of an introverted person, so seeing people do that, that's their thing. They're more extroverted. But the real key thing here is when they cannot be by themselves physically, and it's very noticeable because these people will always be out of their house. They will never, and every human being has a social battery. Of course, they're all different, but at the end of the day, every human being needs rest and relaxation. But when you cannot be by yourself, there is no rest for you. And that is so draining. And something else is like, you're never in silence. And I mean, like, no music. Like, you always have something going around. Your brain is always busy. And this could be, I mean, other than like sleep, of course, but your brain is busy dreaming and resetting yourself for a new day. Like, you are not with yourself because you're not conscious of it. I mean, when you're like laying down or you're just on your phone, whatever, you always have music playing, you always have video playing, you always have a movie, an episode, a show. Now, I'm not saying like you have to sit there with no like background noise, but you need to be able to understand that at a point in your life, you're like, oh my God, I have never, like, I cannot stand being in my own thoughts. I cannot stand being inside my own body and listening to my own thoughts. For example, just try working out with nothing. That's it. Not even noise canceling headphones, nothing. Just let it happen. Let the thoughts in. And then you'll slowly realize that if you cannot do this, you cannot be by yourself. That's what it is. If you cannot be with no silence, no talking, nothing, you cannot be by yourself. And sometimes I force myself to do it when I eat or something. I just let myself go through the motions and just have my brain focus on what I'm doing. And of course, this is where journaling comes in. Try journaling with no music, nothing. Like, sure, you could start off with lo-fi music, just nothing, no words. Kind of just go into silence. And that's really where your brain will take you. Those thoughts are what you have been avoiding, and those thoughts are the reason why you can't be by yourself, and that will tell you what you need to do. Do you need to get professional help? Do you need to talk to someone? Do you need to just journal more? Do you need to push yourself to be by yourself more? What is it that you need to do so you can allow yourself to like yourself? A third reason that is evident is that you cannot talk about yourself truly. And I mean that, like, you cannot, like, someone will ask you about yourself, like, what do you like to do? And of course, there's the basic, oh, I like to shop, I like to read, I like to listen to music. But what do you like to do that brings you joy? Something about me that I like to do is I just like to listen to music and kind of daydream in my own head. Something else I like to do personally is scroll through Pinterest or just find new content ideas, go shopping, whatever, like go online shopping. Something about me that I like to do is paint my nails. I like paint my nails. I like redesigning my room. I like to draw sometimes. Those are things that I like to do, and personally, it brings me joy with no external factors. However, I find that when people don't have a hobby that they really enjoy, because passion is interlinked with who you are. And if you don't have a vivid passion for something, there is a chance, like a very high chance, that you don't like being by yourself because you don't know what it is that you want. And like truly talk about yourself in the instance that when people ask you questions that are very, not like philosophical, but questions that are not very surface level and go below that, you don't know what to say. Or you kind of create a fake persona and you know you're lying, but you just don't know who the real you is. And that's really where the you don't like being by yourself is, that you don't like spending time with yourself because you don't know who you are and you don't want to accept that. But you to really start working on this, you have to accept the fact that you simply do not know yourself. You can try just having a conversation right now, like with the air in, like in your head, whatever, about yourself. Put in your interview and really think about deep, like, what do you like to do for fun? What do you not like to do for fun? What do you like? What do you dislike? What are your pros and cons? Like, I've journaled this. I've journaled my own pros and cons. I've journaled what I like. I've journaled what makes me me. I've journaled what I love and I like to do, what I don't like to do. I've done all of these. It's kind of like shadow work, but like really knowing why you do things. Why do I cry when I argue? Why do I go silent when I'm mad? What makes me do these things other than that communication issues? There are issues that you need to fix, and you can fix them by going in and realizing what causes it. What is the root problem of all of this? And of course, the answers are vague. Family, friends, childhood. What is it? What specific moment in time over and over again has led you to you acting out when you're mad, to you being violent when you're mad, to you shutting off when you're mad? What is it? And that's really knowing yourself, is knowing how you react and how you act in situations. And I'm not saying you have to fix it. There's nothing inherently wrong. People react to things in many different ways. You just need to know why you do it and what you do. Because there will come a time when that situation happens and you cannot react the way you do. But you cannot react violently. And you need to understand, you need to accept the fact that you do react violently. And you need to stop yourself from doing that beforehand. Or else you'll never really have a relationship with someone else because you don't have a relationship with yourself. And for reasons like you care too much about others to the point where it affects your behavior. And I mean, like when you're in a group setting or you're in class or whatever, like you guys are all doing your own work and two of your friends are talking, the whole group is like the table's talking, and you don't feel like no one is talking to you. And of course, I get it, like that's saddening. I've been in situations where I'm at the end of a table group or they're talking and I have no idea what anyone's saying, and I'm just there. Truly, physically, I'm just there, but mentally, no one is accounting for me, like in the group discussion. And of course, it's normal to feel sad or left out, but you can't let it affect you to the point where it affects your behavior. Like you start looking all sad, you start shutting them out, you start like giving them a silent treatment when they ask you something, or you start like leaving class all of a sudden, barging out, making it so much of a bigger dramatic reason than it really is. Because half the time people are not doing this on purpose because they're talking to their friend one on one. It is not their responsibility. It is not up to them to always include you in their conversation. That's truly what it is. No one owes you a conversation. You join in with them. You don't know what they're talking about. Focus on your own work. Focus on your own work. Put your music in, whatever. Focus on your own work. And the reason you cannot do this is because you don't like being alone. You don't like spending time with yourself where you have to do work, where you have to do things by yourself. That's where the problem is. Because you always want someone to talk to you. You always want people needing you because you don't feel like you need yourself. You always want people to like you. That's like my fifth reason. It's because you always want people to like you. You always want to be likable. You hate it when people do not like you, or not even when people are indifferent. Even that gets you mad because you're like, what is it that's wrong about me? But truly, there's nothing wrong about you. It's just that you're not the right person for them, or they're not the right person for you. And like that really shows me when other people do not like spending time with themselves, when they are always people pleasing, when they always want to go out with someone. Like, for example, two people say, like, oh, let's go on a walk around campus. The other person, "Oh, let me join." You're always self-inviting yourself to things because you want people to like you. You want to be with people. And you don't really realize that you are self-inviting yourself. You just think, like, oh, let me go with you. And like, this topic is very convoluted because, yes, they are your friends. And yes, you should be open to going with them. You should be free. Like, of course, they are your friends. But at a time, you have to understand that two people will talk about things that they might not necessarily want to talk about you. And this says nothing about you or your character. It just says that this is something specific that does not really entail you, or like really need your opinion. And you know, accept the fact that, okay, I have enough faith in myself knowing that I am needed when I'm needed. And if I'm not needed, that's okay. That will not affect me or who I am because I know who I am. When people do not invite me to a conversation, or they do not invite me out, or I am left out of group discussion, yeah, it hurts. Yeah, I feel like shit. But I've come to terms where it's like, if these people do not want to be with me, that's fine. It's their loss because I believe that I am a good person, a fun person to be around. And if they don't want to be with me, that is their decision. And I have no right to be like, invite me. Because I know that I can just spend time with myself. And that to me is truly the same. Like, yes, they'll make memories, but so will I. Really, like, they're going out there watching a movie? Okay. You know what? Maybe the universe is protecting me because maybe I would have felt like shit after that more than I will, knowing that they didn't invite me. Maybe something will happen and God is protecting me. Something will happen now at my home and that's good for me. I need to go through this. And it's really just leaving, understanding that, yeah, I did all I could. If it's not enough, it's not my problem. Because you don't have to believe in a higher power to understand that sometimes it's a bigger picture. Like, I'm not saying God, like, you don't have to believe in God, you don't have to believe in the universe, but you have to believe in yourself enough to know that I am a person that other people would like to be around. And if you realize that you're not, that's something you also have to change. If you realize that people that I really can't stand, people that are like, oh, like my old friend group left me, like I've gone through so many friend groups, like no one really understands me, like everyone always thinks I'm this, and people, they are not self-aware of the fact that that's them, that's the problem. And of course it is hard to really identify yourself as the problem because you never really want to be the problem, of course. Like, that is normal. Like, you don't want to be the person at fault, but you have to admit, at least to yourself, maybe not in others, like that's probably a good idea, like you should apologize and own up to your mistakes, but at the beginning, accept the fact that you are the issue, that people don't like being around you because you always make things about yourself. You always bring other people down. You never know when to stop. You always have to say something when there's nothing to be said. And you really have to think about those traits and characteristics of yourself, because if you tend to be in different friend groups, tend to be around different people, and they still leave you, they still talk, like there's still issues, then the issue is most likely at the end of the day you. Of course, these other people would have issues. Of course, these other people might be in the wrong, but you are also in the wrong. And I have personally have come to terms, like, of course, I have made mistakes in my lifetime. I have said stuff that was hurtful. I have said things without thinking, and I like to believe that now I'm a person who can own up to their mistakes and apologize. I say something to my friend and they said something back. I realize I hurt them, and when I go home, I'm like, damn, like I should not have said that. I text my friend, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry I meant it like this. I really did not mean it like this. Please accept my apology. I want you to know that I never meant it like this. Or that, and of course, I'm self-aware of the fact that it is a small mistake, but why would I let my own ego of not apologizing get in the way of a friendship? Because it's the small things that add up. Because when I think about friendships that have gone wrong with other people that I had to cut off, it's always the small things that if you just tell someone at the moment, they're like, oh, it's not that big, like, you know what, like, it's fine, like, maybe just talk about it, like, get over it. But once you think about it in a bigger picture, once you tell someone all the things that have been happening over and over again, they look at you like you're stupid and say, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you cut them off? Because when you brought it little by little, piece by piece, no one thought it was a big deal. But when you bring it all together, people are like, why didn't you leave? Why are you still friends with them? And it's like, you know what? I don't know either. I really don't know either. So it's coming back to the actual topic. It's always wanting people to like you and wanting to be around people, even if you can tell that they don't want to be around you. And you try so hard to have them like you. You try to get them new things, you try to take them new places, you try to be cool, you try to listen to new things, you try to be a new person. But it does not matter because you don't know who you are. You cannot be a new person if you don't know who the old you was. How can you differentiate between you and the old person if you don't ever understand who both of those people really are? And this is something that requires you to really think about, where did I go wrong and what can I do in the future to fix it? And like my dad has also talked about, he's like, think about like how I'm gonna college next year. He's like, think about 5 things you can do differently. And it's, for me, one of them is opening up my energy and really thinking like I'm allowing myself to make new friends, people who are right for me, people who are supposed to be in my life are allowed to come in my life whenever they want. And people who are not supposed to be here, people who are no benefits to me, who are only gonna do me wrong, can leave. And this mantra works so quick. So quick. You say, please, universe, God, take whoever's not supposed to be in my life, take them out, remove them. Next morning, you might regret it, but it's happened. Believe it or not, this is the fastest acting thing I have ever said, and it worked because I mean it. I mean it. Remove whoever's not supposed to be in my life. Cut them out because I have no time. I have no energy for people who are only going to waste my time and energy. But moving on to my sixth one, I kind of talk about it as like you don't know yourself. And this really requires like writing it down, talking to like a video, record like a video journal about yourself. Like search up shadow work prompts on Pinterest and just pretend you're in an interview and answer those questions. And just really looking at Pinterest shadow prompts and kind of like pretend it's like an interview between you and someone else to be like, okay, so what would you say really is your biggest pet peeve, or what's something about yourself that many people don't know? And just kind of think about things like that and really imagine yourself in this scenario, thinking about yourself truly. And of course, writing it down helps really solidifying that. And I'm going to move on to some part that I'm going to talk about very briefly. And if you would like a full episode on this, let me know. And it's that if you do not like who you are now, no matter where you are in life, you can always change it little by little. And I strongly believe that if you do not start, you will never end up where you want to be. No matter how hard you think it is to get yourself out of something, if you never try even a little bit of effort, you will never make it, and that is guaranteed. I guarantee you, if you never try, if you never take the first risk, no matter how big it is, no matter how stupid it sounds, no matter how small and insignificant you think you are, if you never try that one thing, whatever it is, you will never do it. And you will spend your whole life thinking, hoping, regretting that you did not do that thing today. I should have done it 2 years ago. I should have done that move 5 years ago. I should have done that 10 years ago. I should have. And you never will get where you want to be if you never get up and do the damn thing. Apply to that college. You apply to that college for that major. Apply to that college across the country. Apply to that college across the world. Sign up for that internship. Try for that scholarship. Do anything or anything in the world that will get you closer. Because if you stay stationary, you will never move past where you are now. And you will regret not doing it this day. Because you regret not doing it in the past. You regret not making that move in the past. You'll regret the same way but worse in the future. Take care of yourself in the future. Do things now so you will have a better foundation for yourself in the future. Do things for yourself currently, so your future self will thank you. And I strongly believe in doing that because there are so many times, well, I am in a little mishap. I am in trouble for something, whatever, like things are not going too well. But something I did in the past secured my success. And of course, I like to think that to universe, God, whatever. But at the end of the day, I knew if I did not do that move, I would not be where I am. I would be much worse. So really understanding, like knowing yourself and doing things to change your world, change your life. And like I said, I kind of went off topic, sorry. That if you do not like yourself, write down things of how you want to be. The law of assumption. I am someone who wakes up early. I go work out twice a week. I train cardio twice a week. I am a person who likes all types of vegetables. I'm someone who eats it every single day, someone who eats a lot of protein every day, someone who is less irritable, someone who's less angry, someone who's happy to be alive, someone who is a good person to be around. And just write things like you are already that person and really believe it. You are someone who other people like to be around. You are someone who finds happiness in everything. You are someone who can reach your protein goal because you put in the work to do it. And putting in the work is like 2/3 of it. The 1/3 is believing that you already did it. Not that you can, that you already did it. You already reached your protein goals. That it's no biggie. You already do. Because if other people can do it, why can't you? If other people can reach their protein goals, if other people can lose their weight, if other people can sign up for those classes, if other people can win those scholarships and medals and awards, why can't you? Number 7 on this list is you avoid doing things alone, even simple errands. And I mean, like, you have to go grocery shopping, you have to go get something, you call your friend, let's go get coffee and do something. Of course, there's spending time with your friends, but there's realizing that you have not done a shopping trip alone in years. You have not gone on a walk by yourself without music, just genuinely just going on a walk with no earphones, not even for 10 minutes. And I also struggle with that. Like, I always need some type of media, and I'm realizing, like, when I eat or something, to just let the actions happen and be grateful for the fact that I have a warm meal in front of me that I can eat and enjoy to make me full. That I have the ability to walk out in a safe neighborhood, in good weather, in good health condition, to go out when I wanted because I have the freedom to do so. And it's really being grateful for those things and being present in those things. And that's what allows more good things to happen in your life. Because if you always take things for granted and you're always wanting some things to be better and be better and be better, you're never going to get that because the universe, whatever, knows that you are not grateful for what you already have. Why would you be grateful for anything they give you? Versus someone who is grateful for the house they live in, for the food they have, for the privilege they have, for the technology, for the ability to do things. They are always grateful. They are always saying thank you. They are always living up. They're always doing things that make them happy. This is who the universe is going to reward because like this person is grateful for what they have. They are fulfilled with what they have. And of course, they want more. They want to reach their goal and they're putting in the work to do so. They believe they can do so and they will be grateful for that as well. Versus someone who they know were like, okay, so if $1 million, they're like, okay, that's it. They'll just be like, okay, I want $1 million. No, you have to be someone who's like, oh my God, I have enough money in my bank account to get myself a meal and understand that you are gifted because you have the ability to do things that many people cannot. And you need to be able to look into yourself and be like, okay, I can do this. I have the ability to do this. And this is something that I am grateful for. Because if you avoid doing things alone and your brain is always busy, always filled with so many things, so many opinions, so many other people's energy, you will never get what you want because the universe does not know what your own energy desires. That's exactly what it is. They don't know what your soul wants, what your soul desires, because you're always contaminated with other people's wants and needs. You do not have it in you to be alone to do simple things. Number 8 on this list is having a high screen time, especially non-productive areas. You're always scrolling on social media. You're always watching some form of content, some show, some movie, some YouTube video. You're always doing things unnecessarily. you're always consuming so much media and consumption, so many things in areas that are not they're not benefiting you. Of course, people who need to study and need have high screen times, where they're reading articles and textbooks, of course, it's different. You're achieving your goals. I'm proud of you. But if you realize that, of course, there are times in our lives, like a week, a break, whatever, a weekend, I understand. That's fine. But if every single day you come home, the first thing you do is go on your phone and you just don't stop, like you're just always doing something else other than being by yourself, that's like, of course, there's a difference between having your brain being occupied by watching a movie or a show or other forms of content versus doing a workout where there is music playing, but at the end of the day, you are still thinking about things because you are still focused on what your body is doing. You're focused on what you are doing. So it's really understanding that your screen time need is a reason, it's an evident reason why you cannot be by yourself, because you cannot stand being in your own thoughts. Okay, so literally the sun is setting. If you're watching the video podcast, I usually have Notion up or like my scripts so I don't look at myself. But I did now, and it's like literally almost dark. Let me see if I can turn the light. Okay, I think this is kind of better. But yeah, so this is really the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have put a Q&A probably of like what are other reasons that you have seen or that you personally do that you understand hinders you from really connecting with yourself. And I wish I could yap more if I only had things to yap about, to be honest, but I really don't. So I'm gonna end the episode here. Thank you guys for listening. Again, all my socials, everything is always linked down in my link tree. And just if you have any other podcast episodes, of course, just DM me. I might just do a poll that I'll keep in my highlights, just for people who really want to DM me or just want to enter it in there, whatever. So thank you guys for listening.